Good evening, everybody. I am Gregory and welcome to HEALTHline. Tonight we're having the conversation about HIV/AIDS. Did you know that every 9.5 minutes somebody is infected by this deadly disease, be it from sexual activity, drug use, blood transfusion, or you could possibly be born with it? When was the last time you had the conversation of AIDS and HIV? I'm going to give you a real quick timeline to this disease. It was first talked about in the 1930s. We thought it just happened 25 years ago, but it started in the 1930s. It was then documented in 1959 that we had the first death here of a gentleman in the Congo. Fast forward to the 1980s, where a gentleman, Guyen Dugas, known as Patient Zero, claimed to have over 2,500 sexual experiences in New York. He was a flight attendant. He apparently transferred the disease internationally. He died a couple years later. Also, an article in the New York Times in July of 1981 carried the headline, "Rare Cancer Seen in 41 Homosexuals." It was then deemed a gay disease. The article also shared cases of Kaposi sarcoma, which is a skin cancer. And in 1981, on July 3rd, an article on the New York Times carried the headline, "Rare Cancer Seen in 41 Homosexuals." This was called the gay disease, the gay plague. It also identified Kaposi sarcoma, which is a skin cancer that was found in gay men in New York City and San Francisco. Fast forward a couple of years to the death of TV icon Rock Hudson, who finally admitted to being homosexual, who also created the conversation of gay men in the industry that lived behind closed doors. It brought out HIV in the industry, and it also brought out homosexuality as a larger, broad spectrum conversation. Right after Rock Hudson died, Keith Haring, famed artist, died in 1990. And then also, it touches everybody. Ryan White died in 1990. He was a hemophiliac that received a blood transfusion that was pulled from middle school because people were so afraid of this deadly disease. Every celebrity from all over the world became Ryan's advocate because they felt it was unheard of. Anthony Perkins, known as his role in Psycho, died, along with Australian singer Peter Allen in 1992, and then also science fiction writer Isaac Asimov died of the HIV disease, along with tennis star Arthur Ashe. Elizabeth Glaser in 1994, the wife of Starsky and Hutch's Paul Michael Glaser, died from related complications 10 years after getting a dirty blood transfusion. She passed it on to one of her daughters, who passed away, and now her son, Jake, is living with HIV. 1995, there's a protease inhibitor drug, which brings the death rate and illness rate to HIV down. Fast forward to 2000, where the World Organization estimates between 15% and 20% of new HIV infections worldwide are results of blood transfusion. That is why after 2011, that's why after the World Trade attack on 2001, the Red Cross deemed it mandatory to have all blood checked. Fast forward to 2007, a gentleman in San Francisco, Timothy Ray Brown, has been cured of the HIV virus. Where are we today in this conversation? It seems like with the conversation of breast cancer and every other type of illness, it's been pushed to the side. However, HIV/AIDS is still going strong, and it's hitting everyone. Joining me tonight is a gentleman named Zachary Ginder, who works with Alegria House in Los Angeles and Silver Lake, and their mission is to take on families in need. Zachary, it is so great to have you here.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
What got you involved in the Alegria House?
Oh, well, it's a wonderful organization. I'm just happy to be there. It serves families that have been affected by HIV and AIDS. And it's just such a wonderful cause that I wanted to be a part of it.
Well, they're glad they have you. We're fortunate to have you. When we come back, we're going to share with you the signs and symptoms of HIV and also how it started. Do not go away. Hi, are you a member of Facebook? You know, I am, because I like to know all that my friends and family are doing. Wait, did you know that HEALTHline has its very own Facebook page? All you got to do is go to Facebook, type in HEALTHline, find us, click like, and become part of the conversation about health, lifestyle, and the community. We post links, health tips, suggestions from you, the community, about what you do to lose weight, de-stress, have a happy, healthy lifestyle. Okay, once again, all you gotta do is go to Facebook, type in HEALTHline, and become part of the conversation. Hold on. Okay, somebody just posted that if you drink an 8-ounce glass of warm water with lemon, it starts to invigorate your metabolism, along with jumping up and down for 60 seconds first thing in the morning. Okay, you know what? I've got to pass this on. Become part of the Healthline conversation. We will see you on Facebook. Welcome back to Healthline. I am Gregory Zarian, and tonight it's the conversation of HIV and AIDS. Did you know that 1.7 million people have been affected by this deadly disease? And also, did you know, and you must have heard, that Magic Johnson in 1990, NBA superstar, publicly announced that he had contracted the HIV virus from being sexually promiscuous. It used to be known as a gay plague in the 80s. Ronald Reagan only gave $25,000 to research, and for the first time in the mid-80s, he said the word AIDS. This conversation has spread to worldwide proportions. It is just not a gay male. It can affect anybody, as we heard with Elizabeth Glaser, wife of Starsky and Hutch star Paul Michael Glaser. It affects everybody and anybody. I'm sure there is someone you know that has been touched by this deadly disease. That is why we're having this conversation tonight. Joining me tonight is the director from the Alegria House in Silver Lake and Los Angeles, Zachary Ginder. Zachary, first and foremost, what is HIV/AIDS? What is it?
HIV stands for human immunodeficiency virus. Basically what that does is it affects the healthy cells in the body that help fight diseases. And thus it weakens the immune system, which leaves the body susceptible to what we call opportunistic infections, which then can lead eventually to death.
So basically somebody just doesn't die from HIV, they die from a complication related to something like a disease in the lungs or something like that.
Absolutely.
So it suppresses the entire immune system.
Correct.
Within that question, do you feel that other demographics, women, teens, felt, well, it's only happening here, so it's not going to happen to me? Do you feel that that has been part of the conversation?
Absolutely. And what's terrible is that that's still part of the conversation today. There's still those stigmas that this is a gay disease, or that this can't affect me because I'm female or I'm a teenager. Truly, it affects everyone, and it affects families of all shapes and sizes and orientations. And
most people believe that they're invincible, and what makes me sad that you say that it's not going to affect me. My twin brother, one of Lawrence's best friends, got divorced years and years and years ago, and her first date led to a sexual experience, and he was HIV positive and she died. Mm-hmm. So it happens to everyone and anyone. We're talking about HIV and AIDS. When we come back, we're going to share with you signs and symptoms to look for, and we're going to also visit a guy named Bobby who is HIV positive and lets us into his world and what it's like living with HIV. Do not go away.